And a cybersecurity company sounding the alarm about the safety of your personal information. It comes from what may be the worst data breach ever, one reportedly that's resulted in the theft of the social security numbers of every American. According to a federal class action lawsuit, a hacking group claims to have stolen the personal information of nearly 3 billion people and released most of that data for free online. Let's bring in cybersecurity expert Michael Kaiser for more. Michael, what do we know about this reported breach, how it might have happened, and how concerned we should all be?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that people need to pay attention to here. How the data was stolen is not 100% clear, but we know that this data was stolen in vast quantities. And I think the concern people have to have is around not only the volume of data, that's obviously, billions of records, but also what's in that data and what was stolen. And so we know that social security numbers were included, telephone numbers were included, home addresses, date of birth. These are really critical pieces of a person's identity that can be put together and used in a lot of different nefarious ways.
Well, and so what are the implications here? Because when you talk about our social security numbers, our dates of birth, this is the kind of information that we use for pretty much everything, right? For a credit card, to verify our medical information, you name it.
Yeah, your social security number is an identifier, right? And actually, people might be surprised to know your phone number now is an identifier too, since most of us are now attached to individual phone numbers on our cell phones, not like the old days. So I think there are some concerns there around how these are used. There is some good news in this, in the sense that, it used to be that your social security number was on your driver's license and was on your medical card. And a lot of that stuff's been washed out of the system in order to prevent abuse. But these data can be used against you to open accounts, to try to reset accounts, to try and get into accounts that are existing. And that's a concern for everyone.
So, Michael, what can we do about it? I saw a post on social media about doing a credit freeze. Are there other tips? Is that advisable? And are there other tips, things you can do to protect yourself right now?
Yeah, there are. And I think, let's just also take the big picture here. They stole so many billions of records that, you have to look and see what your risk really is, right? There's no way they can exploit 2.9 billion, records against all of us and conduct all these activities. So there's some good news there. Certainly, a credit freeze could be important, especially for people who aren't, maybe trying to get credit all the time right now, because a credit freeze means you have to open up your credit every time you want to, if you're trying to apply for a mortgage or some kind of new account that requires a credit check. I think, doing the basics here is actually the most important piece. There are things like, most of the password managers people use now, or Google has this as well. You can go out and see if your information has been lost, on the dark web. You should be using strong authentication on your own account. So making sure that, wherever possible, you're not just using a password to access your accounts, because that makes you vulnerable. And trying to get into account, if you have a multi-factor authentication using something like a security key or these new pass keys that are quite available now, you can really protect accounts from being hacked.
All right, Michael Kaiser, great to have you. Thank you.